Good afternoon, ma'am. Let's continue about our topic about the sociological perspective of the self. Now, let's move to Herbert Spencer from 1820 to 1903. But before this, let me show you my visual aid. So, let's continue. Herbert Spencer saw himself as a philosopher rather than a sociologist. His grand scheme was termed synthetic philosophy, and it was encompass all the realms of the universe, whether it is physical, psychological, biological, sociological, and ethical. He is a medical philosopher, but he was very accomplished sociologist, even though he took up sociology rather late in his career. Spencer's moral philosophy, social statics, and principle of ethics. So, social static, it is Spencer's first major work that he complained that had received too much attention. He saw his book as an early flawed attempt to delineate his moral philosophy and hence as not representative of his more mature thought. So, here is the basic argument of social statics. First, human happiness can be achieved only when individuals can satisfy their needs and desires without infringing on the right of others to do the same. Then, second, must not only be endowed with faculties enabling him to receive the highest enjoyment in the act of living, but must be constituted that he may obtain full satisfaction for every desire, without diminishing the power of others to obtain like satisfaction. Nay, to fulfill the purpose perfectly, must derive pleasure from seeing pleasure in others. Okay. From that arguments of social statics, we can see that the human happiness only be achieved when the individuals can satisfy their needs. So, if the individuals can satisfy their needs and desires, now without infringing on the right of others to do the same. So, if like for example, I can only achieve the human happiness if I will not do the same that feel the others makes them happy. Then the other argument says that from this must not only be endowed with faculties enabling him to perceive this enjoyment act of living, but must be constituted that he may obtain full satisfaction for every desire, without diminishing the power of others. Then let's proceed to principle of ethics. Principle of ethics. This is Spencer's selfish view as the basic law of ethics and morality. So, he felt that this law was an extension of law in the natural world. So, Spencer felt that this law, the principle of ethics, was extension of the law in the natural world, and much of his scientific justification for his moral position. Here are some titles of the chapters best communicate Spencer's argument. First, the right of life and personal liberty, the right to the use of the earth, the right of property, the right of exchange, the right of woman, the right to ignore the state, and the limit of state duty. So, let's continue. Spencer initiated modes of analysis that became prominent part of his sociology. So there are five. There are five. And no, it's only four. First, he serves the discover invariant laws and principle of social organizations. So muna siya yung mga, this is the initiated modes of analysis of Spencer. Second is, he began to engage in organismic analogizing, drawing comparisons between the structure of individual organisms and that of societies. Third, social statics also reveal the beginnings of Spencer's functionalisms. And the fourth, Spencer's later emphasis on war and conflict among societies as a critical force in their development can also be observed. So, another sociologist, David Emile Durkheim. He was born in 1858 and died in 1917. So, David Emile Durkheim is a French sociologist. He formally established the academic discipline with Karl Marx and Max Weber. He is commonly cited as the principal architect of modern social sciences. So, the division of labor in the society, it is in 1893. It is the first major sociological work of Durkheim. On 1895, he published the Rules of Sociological Method and set up the first European Department of Sociology, becoming France's first professor of sociology. So at that time, when Durkheim published the Rules of Sociological Method, he became the first French professor of sociology. On 1898, he established the journal L'Année Sociologique Durkheim. Another one is the elementary forms of the religious life in 1912. It is presented a theory of religion. So this work is composed have a content of theory of religion, comparing the social and cultural lives of aboriginal and modern societies. So this work of Durkheim have a theory of religion that comparing the social and cultural lives of the aboriginal and the modern societies. So, what do you mean by sociology? Sociology is a science of institution. If this term is understood in its broader meaning as beliefs and modes of behavior instituted by collectivity, and its aim being to discover structural social facts. So, in Durkheim's view, social science should be purely holistic. So, according to Durkheim, social science should be purely holistic. That is, sociology should study the phenomena attributed to society at large, rather than being limited to the specific actions of individuals. So, sociology of knowledge. Durkheim's definitive statement concerning the sociology of knowledge comes in his 1812 magnum opus, The Elementary Forms of Religious Life. So, when the elementary forms of religious life in 1912, Durkheim's definitive statement concerning the sociology comes. So, it comes. Its goal, not only the elucidation of the social origins and function of religion, but also the social origins and impact of society and language and logical thought. So, it's Durkheim's goal of these elementary forms is not only the elucidation of social origins function of religion, but also the social origins and impacts of society on language and social and logical thought. So another one, concept of representations collectives, or we can call it collective representations, which is outlined in the elementary forms of religious life. So the concept of representations collectives or collective representations is in outline of the elementary forms of religious life. So what do you mean by representation collectives? So representations collectives are the symbols and images that comes to present ideas, beliefs, and values elaborated by a collectivity and are not reducible to individual constituents. It is created through instant social interaction and are products of collective activity. So, the representations collectives are product of collective activity. And also language, what is the role of language in representations collective? Language is the most important representations collective, which is, according to Durkheim, is a product of collective action. So here Durkheim says that language is the most important representation collective, which is the product of collective action. So representations collective is the product of collective activity, while language is the product of collective action. So, language is a social product that thoroughly structures and shapes our experience of reality. That's all. Thank you.